Hello! Have you heard? I'm running a Get Creative workshop at ELHAP today. Would you like to join me? Just follow the ELHAP structure into the orchard where you'll find me in the roundhouse. So it's time to get your creative hats on and join me, Vikki, for a Get Creative workshop. Together, we are going to flex our creative and artistic muscles. I can't wait to see you.
Oh, thank you for coming. This is the roundhouse. What do you think? It looks great, right? So thanks so much for coming to our Get Creative session today. Would you like to come inside? Let's go. Hello and welcome to Get Creative with me, Vikki. Now this week's art workshop is all about trees. So we're going to go outside and get a little inspiration from the trees in the orchard. But not by ourselves. This week we are joined by a very special guest, Sophie. So Sophie is going to take me on a little tour of the orchard and we are going to look at some lovely trees and then we are going to make some pictures inspired by them. So I hope you're ready. Let's go outside. Hi everyone, I'm outside the roundhouse and I'm on my way to meet with Sophie. And Sophie works on the orchard project, so she is going to give us a little tour of the orchard and tell us a little bit about the place. Hi Sophie.
Hi guys, how are you?
So we're going to take a little walk through the orchard and it's looking lovely at the moment. It's a really beautiful day, isn't it Sophie?
Sun's shining, it's really beautiful. It's quite warm as well. It's the first warm day in ages, which is lovely.
And so tell us a little bit about the orchard, Sophie.
So the orchard is one of our favourite places because we get to do loads of exploring and we get to immerse ourselves in nature. We get to see all these beautiful trees and the animals. Sometimes if you're lucky you get to see a squirrel. And sometimes a little deer, a little muntjac deer, and there's loads of places to have fun. So we've got the fire pit, we've got the mirrors here.
Let's have a look.
So they're the wonky mirrors. And so if you look at them, ooh, look at that, ooh. So I've got a tiny head, big head, tiny head, big head, tiny head.
Thanks, Sophie. So today's creative workshop, you're going to join me and you're going to do the art activity with me.
I am, yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yes, and you know what we're working on today? So today we are going to be making some artwork about trees. So we're going to use our hands and fingers and we're going to make some trees and do a bit of finger painting.
That's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, look at all the inspiration we've got
Yes,
here.
We have got so many trees at the orchard, so why don't we take a look at some trees? What I love about trees is that the branches almost look like they're reaching up to the sky. And some of them here are really, really tall.
It's a bit like your own arms and legs. It's like the trees have arms and legs and they're stretching so high, especially in the sunshine. They're like, oh, give me all the sun. Yeah.
Oh look, there's a really big tree over here.
Can you see all those roots climbing up it as well?
It just goes on. And soon all of the trees will have lots and lots of leaves on them when it comes to springtime.
Can you see the birdhouse just up there?
Oh wow!
Might even have baby birds in there.
That's amazing. Look at this tree and the bark and the textures and all of these amazing branches.
Some tree inspiration.
Yeah. They're like old vines that have climbed up the tree.
Like in a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Do you think the giant would climb this in Jack and the Beanstalk?
Looks like that, doesn't it?
Like a ladder up to the sky.
This tree has lots of leaves and it's all arching over the pathway. And this is a fallen tree.
So lots of animals have actually been making their home in here. You see? Lots of squirrels been chewing on the wood. Make little holes and they can run all through the tree.
Amazing. Sophie?
Yes?
What's your favourite thing about the orchard?
I love being in nature and the fact we have all these beautiful trees around us. And you can listen to the birds and you can see the animals like the squirrels, and sometimes if you're lucky you might get to see a deer.
Wow.
I love being immersed in the nature, so it's really quiet and it's like another world and you get to explore, so that's my favourite part.
Great.
It's where we go on lots of adventures.
Here we are back at the fire pit.
No fire today though, because it's already nice and toasty because we've got the sun out.
What are you looking at, Sophie?
So I'm looking at some sap on the trees. So it's a kind of gooey substance, a bit like treacle that trees make.
Wow.
And when it goes all hard, it kind of makes this really lovely, beautiful colour. And actually, if any of you know what amber is, if you ever see that, it's this stuff. So look, if I hold this up to the sunshine, can you see all the colours? It's pretty cool, isn't it? And that's made from trees.
So Sophie, do you feel inspired to make some tree art today?
I do. I feel super inspired to make some tree art. It's going to be amazing. So we get to get all messy with the paints. We're going to paint with our hands and see what happens. So we try and make a lovely, beautiful tree. I mean, because look at all the branches. They're all just waiting, ready to come out and spring into life. So it's going to be amazing.
So here we are back by the roundhouse and we're going to be working outside today because it is so bright and sunny. Let's go. So we are back outside the roundhouse and we're about to make our tree art, and to do this we are going to grab our pencils and draw around our hands onto the page. And I don't know if you've ever looked at a tree and thought it looks like a hand reaching up out of the ground towards the sky, but I have, and I love it. So we are going to use our hands as a template to draw around and look like the tree with its branches, and then we're going to decorate it with a bit of finger painting for the leaves. You ready? Have a look. So I'm going to put my hand down on the page, stretch my fingers out like this. I'm going to grab my pencil and draw all the way around my fingers. back down to the bottom. There we go, we have our hand shape, and it's not a hand shape anymore, it is our tree shape. So now I'm going to grab my brush and I'm going to mix up a bit of brown. So I'm going to put some orange, I think, orange and a bit of purple together, and then I'm going to add a bit of red to make it nice and warm. Look at that. And now I'm going to colour in my tree with the branches. Here we go. Just using my hand as a template, as a guide almost for all of the branch shapes, and even might make them a little bit longer. There we go, there's the base of my tree. So next I'm going to get my fingers messy and get my fingers in the paint to make some leaves. You ready? Here we go. Ooh, lovely bright green there. I'm going to dot it on around my branches for the lovely leaves. Here we go. I'm going to keep going until I filled the whole page up with colour. Now I feel like mixing up a slightly different colour, so I'm going to do a little bit of green and blue together. So here we go, some green in there and a little bit of blue to make a slightly different shade. Maybe a little bit of purple as well. And a bit more green. There we go, so we've got a slightly different shade now of green. Oh, that's classic. Let me put a bit more purple in there. There we go. Oh yes, that's a bit darker. Lovely. I'm just going to put in as many splodges of colour as I can fit. And I think, what do you think we need another colour, Sophie?
I think it should go for some nice, like a bright colour.
A bright colour.
Yeah, do some
like
flowers on the
bright.
trees, like for
Yes!
spring.
We're looking forward to spring, aren't we? So I'm going to
Yes.
get a bit of this pink with a bit of orange. Ooh. Maybe I'll just go straight for bright orange. Ooh, there's one.
Beautiful bright orange blossom.
Yeah. What about a bit of yellow?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely go for the yellow. Just like the beautiful sunshine.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying all of the colours in this.
It's amazing.
Are you having a go at home as well? Are you putting lots of colours into your tree paintings? I hope you are. I'd love to see them. I'm having a lot of fun here, getting messy. So there we have it. We have a tree painting, and it was super easy and really fun to do.
Let's have a good look, Vikki. Wow, it's beautiful. Look at all the colours.
Would you like to have a go now, Sophie?
Oh, yes please. Yeah, bring it on. So, just like how Vikki did, I'm going to draw around my hand to make a tree shape. Nice trunk, some lovely branches, and I think I'm going to use this brown crayon here for my tree bark. This tree bark has lots of different textures in it. Especially if you go outside and you go and feel a tree, it's super rough. Branches right here. So I'm just using my hand shape as a guide, but what you can do is you can
add more branches.
You can add more branches, because off the big branches of the tree you always have some little ones, don't you, coming off in all sorts of different directions, and you can be as free as you want with it. Daisy. Not that hard with the crayon. Ooh. There we go. God. It's going to be a very gnarly tree, this one. Look at that. Look at all the branches coming off here. It's a bit like that one we saw, Vikki, the one with all those roots curling up the up the trunk. It's interesting because when you see trees in the winter, you get to see what they really look like.
Yeah, you get to see the shape underneath all those leaves.
So now is a good time, before all those leaves start to come out, to have a really good look at the shape of those trees.
Could you hold that up for us, Sophie? That looks amazing.
So what we have
wow,
the basic shape of our tree here.
And using crayons, you've really brought it to life with so many broad branches. Fab.
Some nice texture.
So, are you going to get your hands messy now?
Of course. Okay, let's get stuck in. All right, so I'm going to start with lovely green for the leaves. Look at that. And it's just like spring, like what's happening outside right now. It's all these leaves are just waiting to come out. So if you go and look at any tree, you'll see the leaves perched on the branches. They're all curled up at the moment, and then soon, in a couple of days, with more sunshine, they're all gonna go whoop, and out they come. Looks like the trees get their clothes again. All those leaves. I might just splodge some on here.
Whoa.
You can get as splodgy as you like. Going to add some darker leaves now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a bit of this green here Ooh, wind's trying to whisk away my artwork. It's very windy out here today. There we go, I'll pop that on there for now. So I've got some green. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of this orangey brown here that Vicky's already made, and I'm going to make a slightly darker green. Not too dark, just a little bit darker. You can put whatever colours you want on your leaves. You could have a pink tree if you like. Splodge it all around. There we go.
Lovely.
And I think I'm going to add some...
I think red apples would be nice.
Lovely red apples. And just like in our orchard, because we actually get apples growing on the tree in summer, which is amazing. Right here in ELHAP. So, some lovely juicy red apples.
Oh, lovely.
In the trees. A big juicy one right there.
Oh, show us, Sophie.
There you guys. Look at that! This is my splodgy finger painting tree.
Great.
With lots of apples.
It looks so colourful and the apples look so tasty. I want to eat them. That's great, Sophie.
Cool. So what are you guys going to make?
So if you haven't got a painter at home, you can still do this activity. You can use crayons or felt tip pens or colouring pencils. So it's up to you what you use, but you can still put draw around your hand and put loads of colour on the page. So just go for it. I'm going to do another one now in crayon and felt tip just to show you. So I'm going to start off by drawing around my hand again. Just to use as a guide for my tree. There we go. And I'm going to grab a crayon, colour this in. And I love what you did, Sophie, continuing the branches off the ends of the fingertips.
Oh, beautiful branches. Look at them.
We're going to continue our branches. By drawing lines off the end of our fingers. It brings our picture to life, and you can really get the detail when you're working with crayons or felt tips or colouring pencils. There we go. Now I'm going to go over this with some felt tip pen as well to make some nice
lovely, Vikki.
lines, and I'm going to put in some dark lines on all of the left hand edges of all of my branches. Like shadow, always on one side. There we go. It looks quite wintry at the moment, this tree. So we're going to brighten this up with some leaves, and because we've got our felt tip pens, we can actually do some leaf shapes on these branches. So you can spend a bit of time relaxing into this. Putting loads of leaves on your branches. And just build up all of your leaves, and so you have this lovely texture going on of all these lovely leaves, and you can add in some different colours. If you have colouring pencils, you could use different shades of green. So now I've got lots of leaves on this tree, I think I'm going to add some vines to the tree trunk. Remember we were walking around and we saw lots of vines climbing up those tree trunks?
We were.
I'm going to add those on. I'm going to add those on in green so they really show up. So I'm going to have my travelling lines all up the tree. Wiggling across. And that's going to come right down to the ground over here. So half of my tree is covered in these green vines.
Wow.
There we go. I hope you've had fun making your tree art. Should we take a look at the things that we've made today, Sophie?
I think that's a great idea, Vikki.
So here we have the 3 pictures that we've made today, and we started off just with paint loads of splodges and colours. There's yellow and orange and red and green, and a painted tree trunk. And then Sophie did an amazing picture with crayon and paint together, and the lovely beautiful red apples on the tree. And then we've got our last tree just in crayon and felt tip pen, with lots of leaves and big trailing vines going all the way up the tree. So there you have it. Why don't you have a go at your own tree art at home? Thank you for joining us for Get Creative today. It's bye from me.
Bye from me too.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.